We're ready to get going because the sooner we go, the sooner I get back to bed.
Yeah, exactly. My audacity started. I have a new roommate who's going to be moving in any minute. I'm going to have to run down, unlock the door, and come back up.
This is going to be great.
I know. There's a key on the wall, and the front door is ajar. He'll figure it out.
See, this is what you have pets for, so they can bring you whiskey in a barrel and then give you keys to people.
Your pet is bringing you an entire barrel of whiskey?
That's what the dogs... What do you think dogs are for, Jack?
What the fuck? Is your dog like jacked? Is your dog like The Rock? Like what? How does he carry that?
Those tiny barrels. Those tiny whiskey delivery dogs for the snow times.
How has no one opened a restaurant, like a bar, where
clue.
all the whiskey is delivered by barrel dog?
TM, 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 TM.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 70 of Blackmail Material with your co-hosts Kevin, Dave, and Jack. It's a big moment for us. Episode 70, only 30 away from 100. We've been doing
Sponsored
this
by
shit for
Zyrtec.
years. But now it's finally come time for episode 70. Kevin, take it away.
Kevin, take it away. What do I...
Yeah.
I am not number one on this docket.
Well, usually you're the first one to talk after I give an intro, so I figured I'd just throw it to you and just see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, I don't want to start off with a bummer, though, but I saw Detective Pikachu last night.
How is that a bummer? That sounds
not a
whimsical and lovely.
Yes.
Well,
I'm
okay.
with Dave.
I'll start with this. Detective Pikachu is a great kids noir movie.
That's a sentence that doesn't make sense. A kids noir movie?
Again,
first
we're on
define
it.
kids noir, please.
What
We
else
are
fits
in
that
the
genre?
alternate universe. It is a noir movie where Detective Pikachu is he's your cigar chomping protagonist. He's witty. He's got bite. He's got moxie. The thing is,
Okay.
I will give it this. It has way more merit than it should. Because when you say talking Pikachu, that has the potential to go off the rails so bad. I think the only thing is I wish there was more of it. Because I feel like that movie opens a lot of questions and doesn't answer it. Like, for some reason, I am fixated on Machamp for different reasons this time. So, like, are you guys familiar with Machamp, the Pokemon?
I was going to let it go, but then I feel like it's
punching-
important.
Is he the punching guy?
He is the four-armed humanoid wrestle man Pokemon.
He's one of the old
And he has a belt. Yeah, he's one of the OGs.
Okay.
And
I
in
remember
this-
this guy.
In this movie, he wears a police hat and is a traffic guard, which makes sense because he has all the arms.
Yes.
But where does he go after he's done his shift? Is he property of the police department? Does he have an apartment? Does he have a lease? Does he get paid in food, in bills? There are so many questions that this universe opens up, and I wish it was like a series
Yeah.
or there were more explanation. And it's way too much for me to demand of a kids movie.
It would be great as an HBO series.
Yes, absolutely. I want an
They're doing
episode
so
about
much, it'll be fascinating.
magnetons. Yes.
You want episodic Pokemon?
Yeah.
Hell, yes, I do.
The original format, Jack.
Yeah, like,
Like,
The OG
oh
format.
no, Pokemon will never work in an episode format. What are you saying?
yeah. Like the
No one
anime,
will like that.
it would take 20 minutes to focus on, like, the story of one Pokemon and Ash and Brock and Misty dealing with that Pokemon. And those are the best moments of the movie. I don't want to spoil what Pokemon make cameos, but those little vignettes of individual Pokemon are the best. And the way they interpret how they would interact in real life is whimsical. It's great.
I would.
Yeah.
I'm just trying.
Like, I don't want to
remember
spoil
Pokemon.
it, but like, is it spoilers if something is in the first 5 minutes of a movie?
No.
Is that spoilers?
No.
I don't
Okay,
think
so there's a little scene where he tries to catch a Cubone in a field,
Yeah.
and that's a very it's a very good scene. It's very whimsical. I need another word other than whimsical. But it's a great scene where he tries to catch a Cubone and then he fails and then gets totally blown up. And it's very referential. Like, he references the fact that Cubone wears his relative's skull on his head, which is like a nod to how this movie is trying to cater to longtime Pokemon fans, because that's something that you would only know if you've played a lot of the games.
Yeah.
Because it's in his like Pokedex entry.
That's
So
cool.
it's got a lot of good nods toward, maybe a parent who played Pokemon Yellow has a kid. Is that a thing? Does my math check out there?
Yeah.
There are parents who played Pokemon Yellow out there in the world.
I think so.
Yeah, so it played to me as someone who watched the anime as a kid and then played a good amount of those Pokemon games. And then I think it also just... Man, if this movie came out when I was like 8, my mind would be fucking exploding constantly.
Oh, yeah.
Seeing all these Pokemon walk around and like realistically rendered is badass.
Yeah,
Okay.
It seems like they're doing so many animated things from the 90s. They're redoing, like, all those Disney movies are getting redone as live action things now, which personally, like, I'm not a big Disney person, but like I kind of feel it's like I don't get why.
It feels like cynical cash grab.
Yeah, and it's just like I don't understand what the necessarily appeal is to making it live action,
Right.
as opposed to like the animation.
Yeah, I mean, I had similar hesitation going into Detective Pikachu, but I think the ambition of this one kind of paid off. There is something magical about seeing a bunch of Bulbasaurs walk around and seeing like a Squirtle putting out a fire with firemen. There's something
Yeah, that's pretty
there's
good.
something great about those little vignettes. It feels a lot like Zootopia, where they have little animal-based puns, or BoJack Horseman.
Yeah,
So there's a lot of cute little funny moments like that sprinkled into the movie.
Okay, BoJack's probably a good comparison.
Ryan Reynolds just sells the ever-loving shit out of the premise. He just approaches it with a sincerity that is unmatched. There's so much charisma, even though it's like, it's weird that I can see so many of Pikachu's forehead muscles and cheek articulations. It's like this weird uncanny valley thing, but I'm able to move past it because Ryan Reynolds is so charming.
Yeah. Okay, here's my question. You might know. How long do you think it takes to do all that sort of voice work?
The voice work?
Yeah, like how many hours do you think Ryan Reynolds would have to have put in? Do you have like an idea? Like, is he have to like go there for like 9 or 3 months of just like every day talking to a microphone?
I think a solid assumption is for every minute of something you see on screen, there's probably 10x of that was not used. Like,
yeah.
10x
including
is usually,
multiple takes.
right?
Okay.
Whenever you see like a minute of something in a movie, there's probably 10 minutes of shit where like it was an alternate take, a different angle that hit the cutting room floor that you never see.
Isn't the other assumption is approximately 1 page per minute? Isn't that kind of the for scripts?
That's roughly correct, depending on if it's dialogue or if it's action or the dreaded montage here. It really depends.
Is that usually what it just says?
Insert montage of powering up. It's a thing sometimes.
Okay.
It also feels like montage is typically keyword for we ran out of time and we need to condense a bunch of scenes down real quick. At least in a movie anyway.
I don't think we can top that thread, so let's move on.
Remember I told you... Well, no, hang on. Remember I told you a while ago
Hang on.
that I was like...
Hang on!
That I was like, I think we're living in a simulation. This is fucking evidence.
Respect the agency of the host. That's a sanctimonious... Is sanctimonious a good or bad word?
I don't know.
I'm a sanctimonetize that
It's
ass
a sacred
over here.
position. You can't... The host has decreed it.
I mean, we can keep talking about it, but I don't know.
No,
You gotta
that
come
was
with
it.
that.
Just
You
that
gotta
one.
come with that fire, son. You gotta come with the fire.
Jack
You ready
is
to
sick.
rock and roll, David?
Jack is sick. The strong take over as
You're
host.
hitting a man while he's down. How
Yeah.
do you feel? How do you feel
already-
about that?
Pretty good.
I'm already up 10 hours earlier than usual.
Oh, come on. I fucking was up for 25 hours when I was at work this week.
Let's
See,
talk
this
about
is-
it.
I
Jack
was
is on
pulling
West
double
Coast
night
time.
shifts. This is terrible.
This is
we're
the
all
kind of
out.
shit. This is like, you can't be tired because I'm more tired. I
Yeah.
don't play that way. I don't play the one-upsmanship. Dave, I've been up for 36. Whatever how many hours you've been up, I've been up +1.
Jack plays he plays for keeps.
I play for keeps.
That is true.
This is known.
I traveled from 4:30 p.m. yesterday until 2 a.m. Pacific. That's more than 12 hours to travel. What?
But why though? Why are you on this West Coast time with me?
Oh, I'm on the ground. Yeah.
Yeah, from a plane you go to the ground.
Right. Sorry, I went over my head.
Hi-yo!
Yeah, I'm on the ground to climb a mountain. I'm on the ground to walk up again into the sky, basically.
It's very inefficient. You are already up there.
I know. I was like, flying is too easy.
Right.
I'm watching all these, climbing documentaries on YouTube, and I'm prepping myself, and we're gonna climb. We're gonna go up to this area called the Upper Enchantment Lakes in the Cascade Mountain Range, right outside Seattle, and we're going to climb. We're going to climb to 8,000 feet. Yeah, we need crampons. We need ice axes. We're going to camp in the snow, hiking for 3 days.
Where the hell do you even get crampons? Is that
REI.
a Dick's Sporting Good? REI?
I'm renting it. Apparently, REI has everything. I'm like, excuse me, REI, do you have ice axes? Yes. Do you have crampons? Yes. Do you have boots? Yes. Snowshoes? Yes. Oh, yeah. Thanks.
The only thing we don't have is hunting stuff, I think.
I'll take one of each.
If I walk in there and just get the ice pick things and an ice axe, it seems like I should be questioned. I should be brought into a back room because it's like, wait, hold on. You are not wearing mountain climbing shoes. You're just walking in here with Vans and a rap t-shirt. You should not be in possession of an ice axe.
That's right. Pikachu, get out of here.
Oh, hell yes. Pikachu climbing Everest. And then an Articuno is there. See, like, man, the live action Pokemon series, long form, that's what, oh, man. It'd be very good.
It goes into real life.
Heck yes, dude.
Yeah. So that's why I'm on Pacific time. I'm climbing a mountain. I'm doing some low-level mountaineering. I guess it's called alpine climbing. And we're going to see what happens. Climbing a glacier.
Why did you decide to do this?
This area is protected, and so you need a permit to camp there, this Upper Enchantment Lakes region. And so got a permit. We got a permit. They only issue 700 a year, and there's like 25,000 requests for permits. It's like
Jesus Christ.
It's the most competitive permit in the Seattle area, pretty much. And so what we did was we didn't win the lottery, but we rushed any open slots that were unclaimed on a certain date. So we rushed that, but we ended up only getting a date early in the season. So there's a bunch of snow still on the ground.
So is the reservation for like multiple people, or is it just this one reservation counts for like your party of people? Do you need to register each and every person?
Dude, it's actually pretty strict. You don't have to register every person, but the person who actually is named on the permit, they have to print out the permit. You have to hang it on your tent. You have to bring your ID. It's very strict. Like if you're caught without a permit, they'll kick you out. If you're two separate groups, but walking with one person without a permit, you can't do it. Like there has to be a cohesive group of people under the person who has the permit. Like it's very for the forest.
There's a lot of rules there.
There's a lot of rules.
Very unexpected.
Yes, it is. It is unexpected
because they know we are clowns and would ruin it otherwise.
Yeah.
You have to register your clowns.
Yeah,
we do.
It makes me think of. I had a coworker that went to. I think it's in Zion National Park, the Narrows. Do you know about that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, which is like apparently like I think they got a permit to hike it, and I think they only give out like 20 to 100 a year or something, like something completely absurdly rare to like get.
Yeah,
that's
tough. Another one. That's another one that's really.
It looks really great. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh no,
I didn't realize there were lotteries for walking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Once you get really
into
walking,
no, you can't walk here, buddy. Nah, step back. Get the fuck out of here.
You need a permit to walk here.
No, you can't look at this. Okay. Yeah. You need to wait like everybody else. I've been trying to win this walking lottery for a decade. God.
All I want to do is walk over here, but I have to walk over here instead.
I don't know.
No.
I don't want to make these people with ice pickaxes very angry by not letting them win the walk lottery. That's very dangerous.
Come here, park ranger. What are you gonna do? I got an ice axe and I'm ready to mingle.
I got these crampons. I'm ready to go.
Yeah. I got these feet knives over here. Ready to stab some snow or stab something else, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Homicide. I'm pretty curious about this next. Item here. I'm going to see Fantano. Who's seeing Anthony Fantano?
That's me.
The needle drop.
The melon. I have the sticker on the laptop that I am recording this on, and it's very bizarre to think I will see this internet man in person. I will see below his chest level. I will finally know what his legs look like. It's like, when I think about it, this man just takes up a 16:9, 1920 by 1080 field in my, computer screen for like pretty constantly. I'm watching his shit at least every other day, I guess. But to go to his TED Talk in Los Angeles is a wild proposition.
He's doing a TED Talk on what?
I don't know. It's like, I guess he would just talk about music, but I don't know what that means. That's why I'm kind of curious to see what a live show would be. I would imagine it's like a live podcast recording, but the proposition of like meeting Fantano, who I think is a very articulate man, and me with my dumb idiot brain going, hello, I like your stuff. It's like, I don't know what to say other than like, thanks for all the work you do. I really appreciate it. You put me onto Brockhampton, and that's awesome.
Nice.
I guess that's it, right? That seems like the appropriate interaction.
Yeah.
Have you ever met famous people that you looked up to? I know, David, you went to like Pod Save America. Did you ever ponder what you would say to them?
I am so embarrassed every time I meet people. Like I genuinely get starstruck, and it's very sad. It bums me out it bums me out how unchill starstruck I get. It really does. I don't know. I met some of the people from Pod Save America. I get real nervous even talking to fucking Jerry Holkins at PAX.
Yeah, even though you've seen him.
I've met his mother. Like, and I still get fucking nervous talking to him.
Yeah, right.
Know. I'm like, I met some comedians. I met Louis Black. Who was also like growing up. Louis Black was one of my favorite all-time comedians. Like when I was 12, I had fully memorized one of his acts. Like an hour-long Louis Black HBO special, I had it memorized. And I met him when I was 12, and I was just like, I have zero chill. I feel so bad about it. It's truly embarrassing.
Jack, have you ever met any famous people that you really looked up to?
I have not, and it's so sad. You guys are relating all these stories, and I don't have anything. The closest I've gotten is seeing Alvin Kailan on the street. That's probably the closest I get.
Who's Alvin Kailan?
He's the restaurateur owner of Egg Slut, and he has a couple online like short series.
The Burger Show guy?
Yeah, the Burger Show guy.
Oh damn, he seems like he'd be very chill to hang out with.
Yeah, that. I didn't even talk to him. I didn't even interact at all. That was it. And
I'm always really afraid that I will say, hey, you're this person, and then they are not that person. I think that's one of the fears. It's like, oh, you're Jerry. Oh, you are not Jerry. You are someone else entirely. Uh-oh. Sorry for interrupting your day.
That's like the Judd Apatow thing when people are like, hey, are you Judd Apatow? He just says no, and they're like, okay.
I should have realized when you were behind the line at the subway that you are not Jerry from Penny Arcade.
Yeah.
Not bad.
I met someone at a party who, he knew someone who was friends with Nick Foles, who was like the Eagles quarterback who won the Super Bowl, and she like showed him, she had his number and everything in her phone, and it just like, I never think about the amount of non-famous people that walk around all day who could instantly call up someone absurdly famous at a moment's notice, and how people walk around with that power to harass the rich, and they never do it.
Well, because you got to think it's probably family or something.
Yeah, I know. But it's like, how much do they give out their number? You know?
Mm-hmm.
It's curious. How many phones can just like, call Judd Apatow at any
It's like
given
I'm
moment?
2 steps away from Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, it's like it's degrees of separation, but on your phone.
Yeah.
I like that. How many people can call Judd Apatow? That I don't know why. I don't know why that's funny, but yeah, no. I mean, I haven't seen any famous people. Any tips for interacting with the famous?
Try to stay calm.
I guess I could go to their TED Talks, right, and then just like shake their hand.
I think
That's
take
a
as many
pretty normal
selfies
way.
as possible.
Yeah, I think the going to where they're gonna be that doesn't count. I think
That doesn't count. Random encounters doesn't count.
no. Random encounters
Or
counts, but
does
like
count.
planned
Okay.
encounters. I don't know how much that counts.
I think you have to always keep a platter of Ferrero Rocher chocolates, just in case you run into a famous person, and then you're able to hand that off real quick.
Yeah,
That's kind of weird. It's like, here you go, Judd Apatow. I got you this chocolate. I've just for you. I've been saving it all these years just for you.
It's the best I
This
could
is
get at
definitely-
CVS.
It's definitely spiked
yeah.
chocolate.
There's like, do you ever have moments where you wish you could have, you wish you had been less responsible and had been able to like follow a weird path and see where something led? You know what I mean?
You mean my career?
Yeah. You ever wish you hadn't done everything you've done? But like, I just remember there was some time I went to a rock show, and my cousin who's a sound engineer is close friends with them because he was their original like sound engineer, right? And he like turned me on to this band, and I went and saw them like after the show, and I said hi. It's like, hey, like, do you know my cousin? I'm like, whatever, and like, it felt like there was a moment when I could have ended up hanging out with the band, but it was a fucking Thursday, and I had to like go to work the next day, so I just left, and it like, I always like sometimes I look back, it's like, man, I wonder where that night would have gone if I had been a little braver to like and cooler, I suppose, to like try and hang out with people.
To pick you up, I think you are the person that is like taken the most. Fuck it, let's roll the dice here and see where it goes. I feel like you do that more than anyone else I know.
That's surprising.
I guess maybe I don't know enough people who do cocaine on a regular basis. Perhaps
Okay, let's be clear. That's not me.
you're not
let's
taking
be
that
very
face
clear.
candy.
Oh, that's what we're talking about.
Oh my god. Also, that reminds me of this. My dad asked me, he texted me the other day, hey, what's the name of your podcast? And I just responded, why?
That's the correct answer.
And then I didn't
Yeah,
give
wait.
him the name.
Why would your?
Shut him down.
I was just
Why
like,
would
why?
Richard need to know? He does not need to know.
Yeah.
You're on the list.
Yeah. All right, where we
Your
got
dad's
here?
friend, I really can't.
What?
Your dad's friend is so hilarious.
Which one?
The bald guy. I
Oh,
feel
Mark?
bad that I don't know his name.
Mark? He used to
Yeah.
own a restaurant.
Yeah,
He seems too cool.
of course he would.
He was a saxophonist in my dad's band.
God damn it! Of course.
Excellent.
Because like all my dad's
Perfect.
friends are like musicians or like these absurdly skilled like guitarists and like just musicians of all sorts. Like, because that's the circles he was in.
Man,
You
what
know,
a
in his
byline.
20s and 30s.
I'm a
and-
saxophonist / restaurateur.
Yeah, that's what. And now he's like an insurance adjuster. But like,
You're hired.
yeah, I think.
You're in the gambit.
But his wife is like the second cousin of Mark Cuban. It's like something crazy.
Silence.
Yeah.
Damn.
Dang.
It's just
Second
like
cousin.
It took me a while to think of who Mark Cuban was.
yeah,
I'm like, oh yeah, the rich man, the very
Yeah.
tall
Outspoken.
rich man,
yeah.
The outspoken owner of the Dallas Mavericks.
Shark Tank man. I
Uh,
hate this. I hate this Samsung vertical television. It makes me so fucking mad.
What? What is this? What are we? Oh wait, for millennia.
This.
I heard about this in the
Samsung Zero.
office.
No.
Can you
fuck
give me
this.
more info? I want to be mad, but for the right reasons this time.
Yes.
God,
Well,
I hate everything about this.
I really want to get you guys mad, but I'm gonna say right here the title is pretty clickbaity. I'll read it here. The latest addition to Samsung's TV range is the Zero, a 43-inch TV that was designed with the millennial generation in mind, and therefore pivots between horizontal and vertical orientations.
So
Yeah.
I will say, Jack, what's your guys' opinion on the vertically oriented monitors? Because I actually used to do it at one of my old jobs, and for a good reason.
for video editing, I see the merit of it. Like, you want a horizontal screen so you can see what you are editing, and then some people flip the other monitor vertical so they can have like bins open of here's all my footage, here's all my sound effects, here's all these other things that I want in like a list form. So I think there is merit to it.
I will say from inside the tech industry, a lot less programmers do this than you would think. And I personally don't like it just because I tried it for a while and I don't like craning my neck. I find it a lot easier to go left to right than I do to go up and down. And so I never really liked having to kind of like look up and to the right to see what I'm typing.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't do it. And I don't see that many people in Amazon actually do it. I see very few engineers.
Where I work, weirdly, it's not uncommon in jobs I've worked where, because people, if you're a scientist, oftentimes you have to read a lot of like papers. A lot of people have one monitor vertically oriented just for that. Like, this is the monitor that I read scientific papers in, and like exclusively use that monitor for that purpose.
It's
like,
in scroll form.
Yeah, I used to do that a lot. And it actually does kind of work pretty well for that.
So getting back to this vertical television, is it a touch screen? Like, is it a giant phone-like interface?
It's not a touch screen.
It's just
they're
screen...
missing the fucking point.
Yeah, it's just a screen that can turn 90 degrees.
Yeah.
Because I want to watch fucking Tekashi 69's Instagram story in full fidelity. I want to see DJ Khaled's vertical screen in the way it was truly intended.
It's just it's like Samsung is preparing for the inevitability that there will be now like high quality content produced specifically for vertical screens, like, and I hate that.
Yeah.
And
isn't it I don't know about you, but when I scroll through Instagram and I see like a story or something that's like way overproduced, it turns me off immediately. Like, if I see an Instagram story and it's someone's shitty cell phone quality, I'm cool with it. That's what I expected. But if it's like a Vine. Red Dragon Epic 8K condensed onto a 9:16 aspect ratio, I'm automatically suspect. It's like, you guys just don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You don't understand that its shitty quality is part of the charm.
Yeah. But Instagram is all about the curation and the upscaling of the quality, Kevin.
That's true, I guess.
Point. Yeah.
It's all about magic.
It makes some more sense for like Snapchat, which is like supposed to be shitty.
You know, I lurk on the cinematographer, TV producer like subreddits occasionally, and then there was this one dude who posts a picture, and he the title was "My Vertical Shooting Rig," and it was just his rig that he had designed for shooting vertical video, and he basically just turned his camera on its side and then mounted it on its side on a plate with all the lights and everything. And I was like, this looks so ridiculous.
I kind of hate
it. Turn on its side.
Hate it.
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember there was someone when, I think it's that journalist Peter Hamby, who is the head of Snapchat's news division, which, you know, that's a wonderful job. But he was
There's an actual journalist, the head of Snapchat's news division?
Yes.
Wow.
But he
went
was
to school for that.
He was on CNN before. But he was very proud of the fact that they had engineered some sort of vertically oriented camera lenses or something. But like, I don't quite understand why you didn't just shift the camera 90 degrees, but whatever. Who knows?
I feel like, I hate to be like Gary Vee here, but I feel like it's a bunch of old people missing the point. These kids like that. It's a small screen that fits in their pocket. They don't want to see it bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like purely for convenience. It's not like they want that. It's not like we want that. It's just like we don't like to turn our phone to the side when we already have it vertical. You know, it's not like the next generation.
It's our laziness that has made a preference now.
I don't want the generations after us to be influenced by my laziness turning my phone screen. Please don't market to that.
Yeah.
This is going to do bad for our future.
I mean, if I could see E40's Instagram stories on a very big screen, that feels like it's pretty good. Because apparently what E40 does on Instagram is put Ghost Ride the Whip on top of normal-looking footage. And that seems like a great use of social media.
That's true. Okay, that's
It's
fair.
just a forklift operator, and Ghost Ride the Whip is playing in the background. And that's pretty good. I would like to see that bigger, if possible.
Yeah, that works.
And just looping forever.
I'm down for that.
Props to E40.
All right, let's get into It Came From the Internet. There's a couple interesting things on here. I don't know who did the first one, but let's kick it off.
So Kenny
Beats and
Beats
Freddie Gibbs.
is a very famous rap producer. You'll know him from Whoa, Kenny. So he's a guy that does a lot of cool hip hop beats. So he's recently taken his game to YouTube, where he'll collaborate with cool rappers, and it's basically like a behind the scenes studio session where he's just like shooting the shit with cool rappers, and then it's also giving a little bit of insight on how he makes his beat. So like in this example episode with Freddie Gibbs, it's him like searching samples and then him basically constructing a song in 10 minutes. And I think it's always fascinating to see like a song getting constructed before your eyes. So you see the spark of an idea and then you just see it get fleshed out. It's like, oh, he's adding in these hi-hats. He's got the 808 in there, and then it's just badass. And then Freddie Gibbs like spits a hot freestyle over it. Also, the video editing is A1. Like, hot memes. Very good.
Nice. Yo, I'm all about this. I love that stuff, like behind the scenes of the studio kind of stuff, and talking through how you produce songs. Oh,
if you like checking out other people's DAWs, it's a good time.
That's exactly what I like doing. Is there a lot of weed smoking in the studio?
Heck yes.
I feel like that's what I need to be a producer. I just need to smoke a bunch of weed in the studio. I've never seen a studio session that doesn't involve marijuana.
Yeah, very large ashtrays, industrial grade ashtrays.
Oh yeah, here we go. About halfway through. Nice. Yeah, this looks pretty cool. I'm gonna have to check this out.
Who brought Divinity Original Sin? Was this on a Steam sale or something?
That was me. Julian put it out because.
What the fuck?
Have you heard of this game? Do you know it?
I mean, yeah, it's hella old.
Yeah.
But how did this come back?
So here's what's up. Divinity Original Sin is a top-down RPG with split-screen local co-op, even though it's on PC. And I bought it it was on sale for
You get this half of the keyboard. I get this half of the keyboard.
2 controllers, USB ports. But I got it so that because I've been looking for months for a game that Christina and I can play together. And like,
you're really throwing her into the deep end here.
yeah, it's been that way, but we're having a good time. But great game for couples, it turns out. I've been like,
oh, so successful.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Oh, wow.
Nice. Recommended. Highly recommended. They're making a sequel, or the sequel's out, or whatever. I don't know.
Cool.
Yeah. It's exactly what I've been looking for months, though.
See, when I think couples games, I think like Overcooked or something like that.
Big Planet or something.
No, I wanted a like 80+ hour long RPG co-op split screen. That's what I was looking for.
Very inviting. Very approachable.
And you know what? She didn't even know what she was looking for, and so
life's all about surprises. You know?
Yeah. When did that?
That's right. Okay. Do we have anything else on that?
What's Meru?
Meru. Let's go to Meru. So, if you enjoyed Free Solo, and you enjoyed the alpinistic cinematography of Jimmy Chin, then you'll love Meru. Jimmy Chin's first full-length documentary where it follows him. So it follows a group of 3, him, Conrad Anker, and then Renan Ozark, I think, as they climbed this route called the Shark's Fin Route on Mount Meru. And it chronicles how they went and, attempted to climb this mountain, and then they failed, and then they tried, and they came back again. And it's a very well done documentary. Apparently how it was put together was Jimmy Chin was just shooting stuff and he wasn't sure what to do with all this footage, but it turned out so engaging that he put it together into a full-length film. I will say it's definitely not as polished as Free Solo, but it's extremely interesting. Like, I almost think that what they did on Meru is harder than what Alex Honnold did on El Cap and Free Solo, just because of the technical nature of the climb. Like, they're hauling 200 pounds of gear up these like sheer rock faces. They're doing these routes that are like really difficult climbs at 20,000 feet after like 10 days of hanging off a small like tent. I mean, it's crazy stuff.
Oh, is this one of those things where they have to like anchor a tent onto an ice wall and they're just like hanging in a hammock, basically?
Yep.
Oh, God.
Yeah, they like anchor. It's called a portaledge. They like literally anchor it to the wall and they sleep in it. 3 of them in like the size of a queen bed.
Oh, man.
And they're hauling all that shit up. Really interesting documentary. It's really good. I think it gives a really good idea of what alpine mountaineering can be at its peak, at its pinnacle. Because I think people saw Free Solo, they didn't really give any indication of what roped climbing was.
Yeah, they only briefly allude to it.
Yeah, and like what mixed climbing is, and like the amount of technicality that is involved in that stuff, and I really didn't know.
Yeah,
and so Meru gives a good example of that.
Cool.
Like, how would you even approach a giant fucking, you see those videos and those pictures of these enormous mountains and then these sheer cliffs. Like, how would you even approach climbing that to the very top? And like,
what do you pack for that? What are the different considerations?
Yeah. What do you pack? How do you do it? What's your preparation like? It's all very interesting. Plus, Jimmy Chin's actually on camera, and I like him. He's
very charismatic.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you liked Free Solo, you should check out Meru.
How would the people see that? Is that a Netflix, Hulu? Is that a YouTube dealio?
It used to be on Netflix for free, but they took it off, so you need to pay like $2.
All right.
To rent it, but I think it's worth it.
Sick.
All right.
Yeah.
Speaking of sick, Jack needs to recuperate. He needs to, work it off before he goes on his own alpine adventure.
I'm watching all these documentaries, preparing in my head, and I'm gonna be so disappointed at the bitch cheer level of what I'm doing.
You'll be wheezing, but you'll be getting up there.
Yeah. I'll be like, I'm only hiking at 8,000 feet, and these dudes are like hanging off a wall at 20,000 feet with like 50 pounds of gear hanging off them. I'm just like, oh God. I'll just channel their energy. And you know what? You can channel our energy because you've been listening to Blackmail Material episode 70, baby. It's early. It's an early ep, but we're keeping the energy up, and we'll keep it going until we can't go no more.
Sickly energy.
Check us out on Twitter, YouTube, and for God's sakes, leave us a review on iTunes. Thank you very much for listening. This has been episode 70. Peace.
Later.